Welcome back to Treasure Makers. We're in the workshop. We just got back from a salvage yard where we picked up some pretty unusual things, including an old globe and even a car part that we're going to transform into a very cool, very stylish lamp to help spruce up a bedroom that has a little bit of a design dilemma.
You'll remember that our bedroom has nice furniture but could use a bit more interest. The homeowner would like to create a warm glow in the room and at the same time add some character. This desk is cluttered and lacks style. We'll start here by making a lamp that should go a long way towards adding charm to this area. The finished lamp will look like this.
Joining me once again is Southern California artist Dan Van Clapp. Dan likes to work with used things and make them new again. And we're going to start off with our lamp, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Let's get the stuff and lay it out, see what we have.
Let's do it.
Okay.
For supplies, we'll need the globe, metal odds and ends we picked up at the salvage yard, some household tools, decorative metal banding, some threaded pipe, a lamp kit from the hardware store, and some paint and finishing products. Dan starts with a lampshade. You'll only need half the globe for your shade, so Dan says ask a friend to help you hold the globe while you cut it with a hacksaw. Once he has separated the two halves, Dan smooths any rough edges with a file for a more appealing finish. Next, it's time for the decorative steel banding we bought. This is going to go around the bottom edge of the shade, but first, Dan wants to give it an antique look for charm. He brushes on some brown latex paint he thinned with water for an aged look, and removes any excess paint with a paper towel. Then, Dan uses another paper towel to dab some water-based gold paint onto the band. This gives it an interesting mottled look.
Now, a lot of people have the notion that you need a sponge to get this effect onto the metal banding, but I just prefer just a piece of plain white paper towel.
Okay.
And it's torn, real jagged, and you just rotate it in your fingers and stick it on the metal and just start rotating your hand so it doesn't leave an obvious duplicate pattern on the metal, and just keep working your way down the banding until it looks right.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Simple and easy and cheap.
And cheap.
Okay.
While the band is drying, Dan will paint the inside of the globe white to create a nice diffused light when the light bulb is on inside. Next, it's time to give the globe itself an antique patina for charm. Dan uses a mixture of paint thinner and roofing tar, which you can buy at any hardware store. About 2 teaspoons of roofing tar to 1 pint paint thinner.
I put the globe onto a Lazy Susan, and it's centered like on a potter's wheel. And I'll just give it a spin. It's not that centered, but it's close enough. And we start with the top and just start working my way down. Now this just gives it sort of an antique look, a darker look than just the color of the paper globe. And this goes on real smooth. Actually, the brush strokes will just even itself out. It takes several applications going down.
Yeah, it definitely has an aged look already.
And then you need to let this dry after this is done. You should let this sit out for a half hour or so.
And it looks like just a subtle difference, but really, when you compare it to what we started with, it's a big difference.
Oh, yes.
I like it much better this way.
I think so.
It's time to attach the metal banding we painted earlier. He clamps the banding to the edge of the globe, and then with a sheet metal punch, he makes 8 holes evenly spaced around the edge. If you don't have a sheet metal punch, Dan says you can use a simple hand drill with a metal bit to make the necessary holes. Then, using nuts and bolts, he fastens the banding and trims any excess off with a tool called a tin snip. About $12 at a hardware store.
Okay, that's it.
That's it?
We're
This
finished.
is our shade? Absolutely beautiful. Now, what is our next step? I guess our base, right?
Remember, Dan says if you don't want to construct your own lamp base, a used base in good working order will fit the bill just fine.
Okay, now I'm just putting in the light bulb,
Okay.
hitting the switch,
Ta-da!
and the lampshade. We put on this little finial top, which holds it in place.
And we are through.
And there it is.
Dan, it is absolutely terrific. I love the way the rust plays off the globe. It gives it a real old world feeling, very antique. It's definitely what the homeowner wanted.
I think so, and it is one of a kind.
Most certainly. In fact, let's see how it does look in that bedroom.
Let's find out.
Look at what happens to this desk when we add Dan's new lamp. The area warms up immediately. Instead of replacing the folding chair, we've added this inexpensive chair cover we found at a home and bath supply store. The cover and a used pillow give the area a richer look. A flea market vase with some fresh tulips helps round out the space. Tulips are a nice choice because their warm colors complement the metallic tones of the lamp. It's a terrific start to our bedroom transformation.
Dan, nice work with the lamp. It's really turning that room around, and we're not through yet. When we come back, we're going to make 3 completely different accessories out of old bottle caps and a radiator grating. You won't want to miss it. Funky and functional accessories coming up.